Hey everybody, my name is Arachne Queen and I am a cancer survivor. Now a lot of people ask me about this because I mentioned I had cancer in earlier videos, and yes, it's true. I do have / had cancer, depends on how you look at it, and it all started when I was 15, which was a long time ago. I'm not going to tell you how long. But I was in high school my freshman year, enough stress as is, and I started coughing uncontrollably. Now, I went to 2 doctors, and both of them treated me for bronchitis, and I didn't get better. Surprise, surprise. And it turns out that I had an enlarged thyroid with 3 tumors growing on it. And I had surgery scheduled, and they found out that it was officially a malignant papillary thyroid carcinoma, which, as far as thyroid cancers go, I guess is the good one to get, if there was such a thing. I guess it's all relative. But it had spread extensively up my lymphatic system, my lymph nodes, and the surgery took 4.5 hours, which was twice as long as they originally said it was going to, and I got very, very sick from the anesthetic. But they literally were pulling out clumps of lymph nodes and testing the ratio of cancerous versus not cancerous in the operating room, and doing it until they found a good enough ratio that they could end the surgery. So I don't have any lymph nodes on the left side of my neck. When doctors go to feel for it, like if you're sick or something, they don't feel anything. There's no lymph nodes there. So I have a big, lovely scar that goes all the way up this way. And one of the tumors was on my laryngeal nerve. Now, that is why I was coughing uncontrollably, because the laryngeal nerve is connected with your vocal cords, basically. And fun fact, I used to be a trained soprano. Unfortunately, because of the tumor on my laryngeal nerve, they had to scrape it to get the tumor off of it. Originally, they said they might have to sever it, which I'm so glad they didn't. But it left my voice permanently altered, and I can no longer hit the notes that I used to. So after that, I had to do radioactive iodine treatment, which basically means they give you a giant pill. I become radioactive for 10 days, and I can't be around people the entire time because I will literally kill them. The way it works is the thyroid cells, if there were any left, the way they work naturally is they suck up iodine. So they deprived me of iodine for 2 months. And then the radioactive iodine goes into my system. The cells suck it up. Radiation kills them. So that's how they got rid of the rest of the cancerous cells in my body. And it was awful because radiation isn't as bad as chemotherapy. Chemotherapy is awful. I'm so glad I didn't have to do it. But it's still pretty bad. You're sick a lot. You're throwing up, you are sweating a lot because your body's trying to expel the radioactivity. It doesn't want it. So it tries to get rid of it in any way it can. And so tears will stream down your face for no reason. Your nose starts running. You drool a lot. Don't ask why. And you sweat. And so you have to shower 5 times a day so you don't get the radiation on everything else, because literally everything you touch gets a half-life. Not the video game. So then, on February 21st of that year, I was deemed cancer-free. However, by cancer-free, they mean we got the big mass of it. You're less cancerous than you were. I've had quite a few other minor radiation treatments since that point. They've all sucked, but they have required less isolation. And I still have to have my blood tested every single month. And I probably will for the rest of my life, because the cancer can come back at any time, and they have to watch my thyroid levels, because if the body produces too many of them, then it can encourage the reproduction of the cancerous cells, and that's bad. So I get asked a lot of questions about going through cancer. A lot of them are really annoying. One of my favorites is, do you have short hair because you lost your hair from having cancer? First of all, cancer doesn't necessarily cause you to lose your hair. Chemotherapy causes you to lose your hair sometimes. It's not an absolute must. It depends on the dosage of the chemotherapy. No, I have short hair because I like having short hair. And radiation doesn't cause you to lose your hair. Plus, that was a really long time ago. And if I still had short hair from that, wow. I have a vitamin E and B and a lot of other deficiencies, apparently. One of them is, like, some people ask if I've had, like, a really positive experience with cancer, which I'm not sure what that means. I think what they mean is, like, did it change your life for the better? And the answer is no. The only thing it changed is the fact that I can't produce my own calcium. I have really bad calcium retention. I have to take vitamin D and calcium because I lost my parathyroids too. I'm more medically monitored than I would have been without cancer, and I can't control my own bodily temperature. So no, I wouldn't say cancer changed my life for the better. Am I more resilient? Probably. But I'm also still more cancer prone. It was really hard emotionally going through cancer because, you know, I had to put on a positive face because I didn't want to be all sad and scared around my parents. They were already terrified. I mean, what parent wants to hear that their kid of any age has cancer? No one wants to hear that. So it was really hard for them, and I didn't want to make it harder for them, so I put on a really brave face, even though on the inside I was having like a constant anxiety attack. People in school were really awful about the cancer thing because in high school people are terrible in the first place. I remember there was one girl, she was a really bad bully to me, but I was coughing a lot, of course, in class because I was coughing uncontrollably before my surgery. And she was like, "That cough sounds fake. Why are you coughing so much?" And the funny part is when the teacher was like, seriously, she has cancer. And the girl, I think to this day, thinks I was faking it until I showed up at school with a massive bloody scar on my neck. I didn't fake that. So people, like, a lot of people thought that I was, like, trying to get attention for the cancer thing, and I wasn't. I wanted people to leave me alone for the most part because I didn't want to talk about my cancer. I didn't want to draw attention to the fact that I have cancer. It's not, the only reason I would ever want to draw attention to it is to warn other people about it because it is very common among young women. I have never met a man who had thyroid cancer. I'm sure they're out there, but I've never met one. It's really common around young women, like I said, I was 15, and that's not abnormal. And I'm very disturbed as to how few doctors regularly check people's thyroids, their thyroid glands, because a lot of things can go wrong with the thyroid, and it can cause all kinds of awful health problems, not necessarily just cancer. So the only reason I would ever want to, like, really talk about my cancer is if I'm like, talk to your doctor, please ask them to check your thyroid at your physicals and your exams, which you should do, really, all of you. But I don't like using my cancer as an attention thing. Like, I don't want to be a poster child because I'm not. And like I said, emotionally going through cancer is awful, especially like the isolation part of the radiation treatment because I couldn't talk to anyone, like face to face. I had no human interaction at all. Like, I could text people. I didn't really text people back then. I don't think I even had a cell phone back then. I could IM people on my computer. But beyond that, I couldn't really do anything. I couldn't see people. I couldn't touch people. And that's really hard. So this is like the only time I will ever really talk about cancer. However, if people make jokes about cancer, like, "Oh, that was so bad, it gave me cancer," I don't care. Some cancer jokes are funny. I'm not so overly sensitive about it that I'm like, you can't make jokes about that because I went through it. I have family members also, very close family members that also went through cancer treatment as well. And one good thing, I guess, that came from that is helping other people who are going through it because we have an amazing medical advancements every day in this world. And getting cancer isn't as much as a death sentence as it was even 10 years ago or 20 years ago. The advancements being made are incredible. So if any of you are going through cancer or a threat of cancer or your family members are, Pray to whatever deity you worship, or if you don't worship, just send positive vibes to the universe. And just believe it'll be okay. But come to terms with the fact that it might not be. Because it might not. There was a chance that mine might not have been. People get faced with their own mortality at different times in their lives. Some of us earlier than others. But live your life as best as you can, because wasting your life out of fear for your own health isn't worth it. So, live life and be happy. But if you need to cry because you're scared, or you're afraid, or you're going through a hard time, do it. Because you will feel so much better. Really much better. If you like this video, you should leave a like. And if you didn't like this video, well, then you're a hater, and we all know what haters are going to do. They're going to, I don't know, something insensitive and rude. So if you really like this video, you should subscribe and leave a comment about your experiences. Or if you don't want to talk about them, that's cool too. And I will catch you guys next time. Also, this weekend is totally my birthday. So, happy birthday to me.